In the heart of ancient Babylon, where kings ruled with absolute power and golden idols loomed over the land, a young Hebrew boy would rise, not with weapons, nor with rebellion, but with something far more powerful, unshakable faith. This is the story of Daniel, a prophet whose wisdom baffled rulers, whose visions revealed the future, and whose God defied the laws of men. But how did a mere exile become one of the most influential men in the empire? And what gave him the courage to face death again and again? It all started in Judah, a land rich in history, but vulnerable to mighty empires. When King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon invaded, he didn't just take treasures from the temple. He took people, among them a young Daniel and his 3 companions, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. They weren't just captives. They were chosen. The Babylonian king sought the brightest minds of Judah, training them to serve in his court. But there was a catch. Everything about their identity had to change. Their names, their language, their diet, even their faith. They were given new Babylonian names: Belteshazzar, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But Daniel? He refused to let his true identity fade. When ordered to eat the king's rich food that went against God's commands, he took a stand, a risky one. He asked for a test, 10 days of just vegetables and water. The result? He and his friends appeared healthier and stronger than the rest. A small victory, but one that set the tone for his entire life. Daniel would remain faithful, no matter the cost. Years passed, and Daniel's wisdom became legendary. When Nebuchadnezzar had a terrifying dream, one no sorcerer or wise man could interpret, Daniel did the impossible. He not only revealed the dream, but explained its meaning, a prophecy of kingdoms rising and falling, from Babylon to the distant future. The king was in awe. From that moment, Daniel wasn't just an exile. He was a trusted advisor to the most powerful man in the world. But kings change, and so do their moods. Nebuchadnezzar was succeeded by Belshazzar, a reckless ruler who mocked God by drinking from the sacred temple cups. That very night, a mysterious hand appeared, writing on the palace wall, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Parsin. No one could understand it, except Daniel. His interpretation was chilling. Belshazzar's kingdom would fall that very night, and it did. The Persian Empire stormed Babylon, and a new ruler took the throne, King Darius. Daniel, now an old man, found himself once again in a position of power. But with influence comes enemies. Jealous officials plotted against him, convincing Darius to sign a law. For 30 days, no one could pray to any god or man except the king. Daniel had a choice: abandon his faith or risk death. He chose faith. He prayed as he always had, 3 times a day, facing Jerusalem. Caught in the act, he was thrown into the lion's den, a punishment meant to be swift and brutal. But the next morning, when King Darius rushed to see the outcome, he found Daniel alive, untouched. The lions hadn't laid a claw on him. Why? Because as Daniel said, "My God sent his angel to shut the lions' mouths." Darius was shaken. The same man who sentenced Daniel to death now issued a new decree, that all should honor the God of Daniel, the one true living God. Daniel's life wasn't just marked by survival. It was marked by visions. Visions of beasts representing kingdoms, of rulers yet to come, of events that would unfold long after his time. He saw the rise of Alexander the Great, the Roman Empire, and even glimpses of the end of days. His prophecies were so precise that historians still marvel at them today. But perhaps his greatest vision was the one of hope, a kingdom that would never fall, a kingdom not built by human hands. Daniel lived through the reign of multiple kings, survived countless trials, and never wavered in his faith. From an exile to a governor, from a prisoner to a prophet, his story is one of resilience, wisdom, and divine power. So what made Daniel so extraordinary? It wasn't just his intelligence or his ability to interpret dreams. It was his unwavering trust in God, even when faced with death, even when empires crumbled around him. And perhaps that's the real miracle of Daniel's life. Because true faith isn't proven in comfort, it's proven in the lion's den.